Hello and welcome to ABP Live. I have with me today veteran diplomat Zikrur Rahman. He has been ambassador across various geographies in the world, including Palestine. We'll hear from him the status of the Israel Hamas war, the humanitarian crisis that is unfolding in Gaza, where around 10,000 civilians have been killed, and the fact that where exactly will this stop. Welcome to ABP Live, sir, and thank you for giving us your time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nirma, for calling me. Yes, it is an important, situation in Gaza, particularly. And I just wanted to clarify one thing. It is not a war between Israel and Hamas.
Okay.
It is a war between Israel and the civilians, Palestinian.
I know, sir,
Hamas is an
where.
organization only. It's a party only. It's not a state. It's not a
Correct.
government. It is only an organization. So how can there be? You can equate it to the war which Israel has declared. So a war could be or war should be against a state, against a country, not against a small organization.
Right. So, to be fair, when this incident started, while you are saying that, Israel started the war, everybody talks about the October 7th development when Hamas carried out those violent attacks against Israel. How do you see the context for it?
I don't think that that was a sudden decision by Hamas to surprise and to attack Israel and make a number of soldiers as well as the settlers, who are gun carrying people there in the settlements as captives, along with certain, no doubt, civilians also. So I don't justify that taking them captives like that was okay and they should have done it. But you have to go to the background. The background is that since the new government was formed by Netanyahu, this government consisted of ultra right Jews who believe only in Judaization of their country, who only believe in making the country as a Zionist entity. Now, since they came to power, what they started doing was that their attention was totally on the West Bank. Now, a lot of settlement activities started there, which really created problem for the Palestinians. There were incursions in the Al-Aqsa Mosque, which is considered as a sacrilege as far as the Muslim world is concerned, but particularly for the people living in Palestine. So the soldiers went there, the settlers started going there. Settlers started, taking all kind of violent, measures, going inside, beating the people, ordinary people, not allowing them to pluck their, the olives and all those things. So actually, the violence had initially started in the West Bank, which started problem amongst the Palestinians that what all is going on with the new government coming up. Now, what had happened that the amount that the Israeli government and Israeli security agencies they had to spend on their internal security arrangements and all those things, the total amount was diverted towards making new settlements in the West Bank. As a result of this, you find that the accusation against Netanyahu and all others are being made that they forgot, they ignored the security of the Gaza side of Israel and concentrated only in making new settlement and provoking the Palestinians in the West Bank. And it was stealing the West Bank territory quietly. So that was basically the reason that that infuriated people. And Hamas, which was preparing for this kind of an opportunity, they found an opportunity and they just entered inside.
Mhm. So, but then do you think that by carrying out this kind of an act, the Hamas sort of um, created further mess for the Palestinians who are now being forcefully, in a way, being evicted out of Gaza? Will they ever be able to come back to Gaza?
I don't think they will go out of Gaza. They will not go out of Gaza. Remember 2.3 million people, they are not going out. They have refused to go out of Gaza. First of all, they had no other alternate. 16 years, you have kept them in an open prison. and you cannot go out. These people, they cannot go out, they cannot move out, they cannot breathe, they cannot see the world. Even if one person who is very sick and he has to go out, he has to wait for months to take permission from Israel to go out, because all the borders, they are being controlled only by Israelis.
Right.
So the thing is that what a person, you know, even an individual, if you keep 16 years in a room and do not allow him, he will try to wriggle out. As we say in Hindi, marta kya na karta. So he has to see that how he gets out of this situation, because nothing was moving. The world was not moving towards their plight. 16 years of calm, quiet. Nobody is talking about their plight. Nobody is thinking about them. Their movements are restricted. Their food, their electricity, their water, everything is in control of the Israelis. Whenever they wanted, they will switch off. Whenever they want, they can switch on. Whenever they want, they can enter into the territory. Whenever they want, they were withdrawing. So Hamas organization, as an organization, their military wing particularly. So you have to differentiate between the political wing of Hamas and the military wing of Hamas. So this action, in my own assessment, had no blessing from the political wing of Hamas, because political wing of Hamas is at present out of Gaza. It is basically by the military wing of Hamas, which is called Al-Qassam Brigade. So they are the people actually who have taken this decision.
So that's interesting, because that's something we've only been hearing from other experts, but not in India really. And you're an expert in the Arab world. So when you see Hamas as these two different entities, the military and the political wing, and now when you see several countries talking about Hamas as a terrorist organization, in fact, Israel has urged India to recognize Hamas as a terrorist entity. How do you see things going from here? I mean, as far as Hamas and the cause of Palestine is concerned.
Look, today Israel is asking the world countries to recognize this organization as a terrorist. 20 years ago or 30 years ago, Israel was demanding PLO's Fatah to be declared as a terrorist organization.
The Palestine Liberation
Palestine
Organization.
Liberation Organization and other organizations which were under the umbrella of PLO. It was Fatah, is the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, Popular Democratic Liberation Front for the liberation of Palestine. All these were, but 30 years ago they were all being called as a terrorist organization. Suddenly, when they entered into an agreement, in the Oslo, and afterwards when the PNA was made, they all became up front. So the terrorist tag was gone. Now today they are talking that Hamas is a terrorist organization.
Right.
Now Hamas, what they want is that they are actually an organization which is not fighting outside the Palestinian territory. What they are doing is that they are demanding, or they are working only to liberate their own land. So what all activities they are doing is within their own territory. It is not outside their own territory. That is one. Now today, if you wipe out Hamas, as Israel says, and they may wipe out, they may do what or the way they are going. They will try to eliminate, even the bases by route. But after tomorrow, another organization will come up, because aspirations are there. Yesterday it was Fatah, PDFLP, PFLP, and the total PLO. Today it is Hamas, and today it is Islamic Jihad also. Tomorrow these organizations will come up with some other name, or the new generation will come up with some other name, in order to achieve their aspirations of liberation, because it is basically an issue of occupation. So what Hamas or what other organizations have been doing, it is to ensure that the occupation of their land has to be left, they have to be made free, and that's all. Because the agreements had been made, but there was no honoring of this agreement from the Israeli side. In fact, if there was one person who systematically destroyed this, peace negotiation, is Netanyahu. He is not at all interested into a state solution. He doesn't want at all. There was a time when I was ambassador there. in 2006 and 2007, there were negotiations between the then Prime Minister Ehud Olmert and Mahmoud Abbas, President Mahmoud Abbas of Palestine National Authority, State of Palestine, and they had 36 sittings. 36 times they sat together, they discussed, and they were about to reach a final settlement. According to the final settlement, the state was to be made in 1967 borders, with Jerusalem will be where the Jews are there. The western side will be governed by the Israel. The Muslim side will be governed by the Palestinians, and the guarantees were given by the Palestinian Authority that those 60% of those settlers who are living in the West Bank, their safety, their security will be guaranteed. Israel demanded that all that land where the settlements have been made, you can swap the land. So discussions were going on in swap of the land. That what is the percentage of the swap of land that will be there, because the settlements have been made. So accordingly, the land has to be given. So what Israel was insisting that you take the same amount of land, the same measurement of land somewhere near the Gaza, which Palestinians say that no, we will take from where we are giving from the West Bank. So we will take it within the West Bank, the area, whatever the area we can reach upon. So they were about to reach on a final settlement. But Netanyahu, along with the other leaders, tried to dynamite it, and the government of Ehud Olmert, which was an alliance government, that was thrown out. And Zippy Livni came. Zippy Livni at that time, when Ehud Olmert was the prime minister, she was the foreign minister. And then when Zippy Livni also started from that very status where Ehud Olmert had left, Netanyahu and company, they ensured that she also has to be removed from the job, and they dynamited, the further progress in that. And she also had left, and later on Netanyahu has become the prime minister. So he is the longest serving prime minister. He is not at all interested. He can go to any extent to destroy any prospect for peace. So this is the reason. So this is just a disappointment amongst the Palestinians that nothing has been moving on the direction. Now, 20 years of peace of process without any peace. Where is the peace process? They had been going on from say Geneva conference, Geneva to Madrid conference, Madrid to quartet, quartet to peace process, to the roadmap, but nothing was moving. They were talking about the quartet was made. The former Prime Minister of UK, United Kingdom, he became the person, as a coordinator sitting in Jerusalem. He continued sitting for 10 years, enjoying his life. Nothing was moving. No quartet, nothing. We at that time, we tried that, quartet plus one, it could be made so that India also could play a role, and we can bring some kind of a neutrality in the amongst the quartet, and see that the things move in the right direction, where the interest of Palestinians as well as the interest of Israelis should be taken care of, because we have very good relations with Israel, and this is in our larger interest. We wanted it, but Israel refused. They did not accept us as a person. So it continued, totally, Western dominated, where nothing moved. Now, Israel and the Western countries, they have made the Palestinian National Authority and its power totally, destroyed its power, totally destroyed their reputation, and that is why Hamas gained the importance amongst the Palestinian people. Because what Palestinians want is only their liberation, and they want to see that who delivers them. Now, Palestinian Authority, led by Mahmoud Abbas, the PLO, could not deliver the goods.
Correct.
So that is the reason that you find the disappointment on the streets of Palestine, and therefore a support for the Hamas in Gaza. Hamas support is not there in the West Bank, but why they are doing all this thing in the West Bank? You see, they are provoking the people. Even, up till now, around 149 or 150 persons have been killed. Now, Hamas is not West Bank. Why Israel is doing all these, taking all these actions in the West Bank?
Well, sir,
Hamas has
what
not done
Israel
anything.
says and the Israeli Defense Forces, they are sort of briefing the media every time, and also our foreign diplomats, is the fact that they want to eliminate Hamas across that region, and also the so called network that they have. But then again, the question is Hamas leadership is across the Arab world. What is it that they
No,
will achieve?
no, it's not leadership. What they want is that Hamas militancy or Hamas militant organization, cadres, they would be eliminated. That is what is their aim. But tell me now, 1 month, right? They have not been able to have even a single important name announced that he was killed amongst the Hamas, militant leadership. Not even a single person. Whereas in 1 month, whereas the Israel is known
They're
to be,
claiming they have killed some of the commanders.
if they are claiming that where are that, first of all, there was no confirmation from the Palestinian side or from the Hamas side. If they are claiming, let them give the names that whom they have killed. They have not given the names. Instead, they have lost already more than 30 to 32 soldiers, I think, since the
Okay.
incursions has begun there. So 1 month they have not been able to achieve anything. How they are going to eliminate Hamas? Even if they are able to eliminate Hamas, I don't say they can do. They are a state. They can do it. It is not that Hamas as a small organization. How many fighters they will be having? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, not more than that. And Israeli intelligence agencies are world reputed agencies. They knew very well, as according to our own assessment, that where their leaders are there, which place they are living, which place they are staying, everything is known, but they flogged. There was nothing, they have failed, totally, completely failed. How they could not locate those people and eliminate them? Instead of eliminating Hamas, eliminating their leadership, you are trying to frighten the civilians. You are killing the civilians and massacring them, the children, massacring innocent newborn, they are killing them, women, old people. Where are the youngsters that you are claiming that they are the gun carrying people or gun carrying Hamas? I mean, at least if you have been there, give them the name that who all you have killed. And killing them, so you have to target them like anywhere. They are fighting a guerrilla war. You may say that they are terrorists. Today's terrorists is yesterday's guerrilla commandos. That is what exactly I can say. But even if you want to eliminate and you want to do it selectively, you do it.
So, but what about the hostage situation? That's what they are saying. They have to free all the hostages.
Look, first of all, the Hamas, I'm talking about Hamas. I'm not talking me. I know that they are hostages. But they say that they are captives. We have abducted them. And once Israel declared war on us, once they declared a war, then they are captives. They are prisoners of war. All the soldiers. That is one. Number two, the settlers. Because all those settlers who are in their custody, they are gun carrying people. Israeli authorities, Israeli defense forces, they give them guns. And these people, they carry guns all around and they are given training. They are the ultra, religious people who have studied in the madrasa. They also call madrasa, the Talmud, or they are those kind of people. So they if they have abducted them, according to them, they are the captives. And we will swap them, we will exchange them. That is what is they saying. I'm not justifying it is correct, but what I'm saying is in their philology, if they are captives, in their philology, they have abducted them only to see that they are swapped with our prisoners. They have around Israel had, now it is more than that, around 5,500 Palestinian prisoners lying in Israeli jails without trials. Around 2,300 to 2,000, 1,100, 200 to 1,400, they are under administrative detention for 20 to 25 years. Their cases have not gone to the courts. They are just lying there. Many of these prisoners, They have been given 30 life sentences or 35 life sentences like that. Now, if 5,000 or 6,000 prisoners you are keeping in such a small population, and you are giving 5, 6,000 is a huge number in such a small population. Now, you are keeping them without any trial, without any justification, without producing them to the court, without FIRs, without anything. So, they have to bring it. And they have before them an example when in 2006 war, when Israel had gone inside Gaza, they had captured Gilad Shalit. And this Gilad Shalit, who was an Israeli and also French national. So Israel initially started saying this is a French national, but later on, because they have dual nationality, so all Jews who are either French or British or Americans, they can have the Israeli nationality and they can fight being an Israeli national.
Okay.
But they are also American and they are also French. So when they say this, so many French nationals are there, so many British nationals are there, they are also the Israeli nationals. They have been given training and they go there as soldiers. So when Gilad Shalit, when he was captured, he was for 5 years with Hamas. 2011 he was released, and he was released against 1,000 some 17 or some 7 or 17 prisoners. Only Gilad Shalit. So they know today they have a huge number with them, and they want all 6,000. Their aim basically was not to start a fighting, to start a war, to start violence. What their aim is to get all those who are being arrested either in the West Bank or in Gaza or from Al-Aqsa Mosque or from East Jerusalem, they should be released. That is what is their claimed
Stated objective.
stated objective.
Sir, now coming to the fact, a lot of question is being asked about the role played by the Arab world, right? Be it Egypt, be it especially Saudi Arabia, also Jordan. How do you see them working this thing out? There had been a couple of meetings that the OIC held, but the OIC only came up with a statement. Who's going to actually get the pause done? I mean, UN adopted a resolution calling for a humanitarian pause in Gaza, but the IDF is going on bombing Gaza, and now they have moved in for a ground invasion, and that is going on relentlessly. So, how do you see the immediate situation should be addressed?
Look, until the Americans are siding with them blindly,
Mhm.
I don't think that there can be any more. Arabs, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, UAE, and all other countries, particularly Jordan and Saudi Arabia, they have very vehemently and very openly, and Egypt very openly stated that they must stop bombardment. There should be ceasefire. But if you see Blinken's statement the day before yesterday, when he was in Jordan, he avoided or replying any answer to the ceasefire. What he says, humanitarian help,
Pause.
humanitarian pause, humanitarian assistance. Well, humanitarian assistance, you are killing human beings, and you are talking about humanitarian assistance. But you will give pause, you will give some amount of food and items, and you will send some medicine, and then again you will be killed. See how many Western countries, as well as including India, how much we have helped the Palestinians in their infrastructure. Millions of dollars we have paid in from Indian side for infrastructure of the Palestinian National Authority, and they have made it. They have made schools, they have made libraries, university libraries. We had contributed a lot. But what happened? Two bombs and everything is destroyed. So what is happening is that what all the amount the world countries give to the Palestine National Authority for raising their infrastructure, for establishing their state. Israel, after 6 months or 3 months, come, bombard, destroys everything, and all this money, whatever as an aid has been given, go to the dustbin. This is what is the tactic of Israel. They do not want at all any kind of a progress, any kind of prosperity. In fact, I can sum up in one line that they want to turn the Palestinians as the Red Indians of the America.
Okay.
They want to make enclaves. They want to make, those areas, where they should be restricted, and all around will be the Israeli authority, Israeli security. Palestinians refuse to be kept in museum as a history. That is what is the story. They refuse, and they say that we will not be made like the Red Indians of the America. So this is an attempt by Israel. It is trying for the last 70 years. They have not been successful. This Gaza had been a problem for successive prime ministers and presidents of Israel. There was a time when Ben Gurion was asked in 1948 that what are you going to do with the Palestinian refugees in millions whom you have thrown out? What are you going to do? He said, "Oh, who are refugees?" They said, "Whom you have thrown out." His word was that those who are old they will die, those who are young will forget and will ever remember that they are a state called Palestine. See how wrong he was. And another quote I can give you is by Isaac Rabin. Isaac Rabin had
Who was
gone,
assassinated?
who was assassinated later on, and who had, and was a very bold man,
Hmm.
who had entered into an agreement at Oslo, and who had really done, this is a job of a brave people to enter into any kind of a
Right.
peace deal between them. He was a brave man, but he was assassinated by the fanatic, Jewish lobby there. So he had once said that I wish I wake up one day and find Gaza drowned in the Mediterranean. So Gaza had remained always addict for the Israelis only because of reason is that in the Gaza Strip, 80% Palestinians, they are refugees. They belong to the area of 1948 Palestine, who were thrown out of Jaffa, Haifa, Nazareth, and all that area, and they had taken refuge only in Gaza Strip. So the keys of their houses are still in their own hand. I have seen, I have seen their houses. They are locked, still locked, because Israel, what they are doing is, they are implementing two kind of laws on the land of Palestine. If it is in their interest to implement the British mandate laws, they will implement that. If it is in their interest to implement the Ottoman time laws on land,
Okay.
they will implement that. Say, for example, during the Ottoman colonization time, there was a law that if a land is not tilted for 50 years, the government has the right to claim on that land. They have the right to claim that land. Now, what Israel is doing in the West Bank, that they will declare a certain land, certain area, as a militarized area, military area, and they will not allow any Palestinian to enter inside or to cultivate that land, or to grow fruits, or to grow the olives and all those things. So 30 years or 40 years, they would not allow anywhere. It's a military area, cantonment area or military area. And after 50 years, they will declare it as a land which was not cultivated, which was not used. Hence, the government has the right, as per law number such and such of the Ottoman area, and they will take over.
So now tell us a little bit about your time in Palestine. That was also a period when tensions were at its peak. However, there was this still some kind of hope that there'll be a two-state solution. Oslo Accords were signed, but what happened afterwards?
Look, as I told you, there was Oslo Accords were signed. After that, there was a Madrid. After Madrid conference was the Oslo Accord basically, and then a number of other meetings were held international level. Things were going on a smooth direction until the Isaac Rabin was assassinated. And when Isaac Rabin was assassinated, the leadership which emerged was, you know, Sharon, the famous Sharon, who never allowed, who never saw eye to Yasser Arafat. So what he did was that he destroyed slowly he started destroying the Oslo Accords. Either you do this, you do that, you do this, otherwise I will not talk to you. You agree first on this, you agree on second.
You mean Ariel
Only
Sharon?
Ariel Sharon. Now, ultimately, I tell you that what had happened, how Hamas came to power, they insisted, along with the Western countries, that to Arafat, that first you should have a democratic elections, then only we will talk to the Palestine National Authority. We do not know, you are the representative of the Palestinian people, so let there be first a democratic election, and once the elections are held and a government is formed, then we will talk to you. Arafat declined. Why Arafat declined? Arafat knew that Hamas will not accept Israel's existence. So if I, and they are insisting, so it means I have to take Hamas. And if I take Hamas as a member of the parliament, which does not recognize the authority or the existence of Israel, that means my own PNA's existence will be in danger. That was the reason. So he said that first we finalize, like we had agreed, and later on we can just hold. Once it is finalized, once a two-state solution is achieved, and we will go for democratic election. He refused. There were lot of pressure on Arafat, but Arafat did not agree. Ultimately, after Arafat died, who came to power? Abu Mazen. Now, Mr. Mahmoud Abbas Abu Mazen is considered as a Gandhi of Palestinians. He believes only in non-violence. So, his style of working is totally different to Yasser Arafat. Yasser Arafat was a visionary. He could understand that. He is a statesman also, no doubt about it. But, he succumbed to the pressure of the international community. So, he allowed Hamas to participate in the election. Now, it was under pressure from the international community. When the elections were held, we were also there. We were observers. We had gone India as an observer. So once the elections were held, Hamas won the majority. Now, once Hamas won the majority, they said, no, we are not going to deal with them because they are, against us. They are a terrorist organization, and we are not going to talk on that. So, once you insist that everyone should participate, and once they participated and they won the election, then they tried to sideline the Hamas. So, from here, the whole trouble started. Even after that, Mr. Abu Mazen, Mahmoud Abbas, led under PNA, led by Mahmoud Abbas, they continued talking. They continued instead of every difficulty. He was accused by his own people that, he is too soft on Israelis, he is too soft, he cannot deliver and all those things, but he continued. But ultimately, it was Israel, who made his authority by away from. Today, he is just sitting there in the, in Ramallah and has no authority over his own people. Because and Hamas has gained only because of the insistence of Israel of not talking to PNA or not talking to the moderates, not talking to PLO, not talking to any other organization, and ensuring that the land should continue being taken for the settlements. Settlers were regularly encouraged to go and do the settlement. If you see, you should, if you go there, you will be surprised to see that, a settlement in which 25 to 30 settlers are living there. Girls, boys, children, everyone is having a pistol or a gun in his hand, and they are staying there, and they are being protected by 35 to 40 Israeli soldiers. All around they have been made secured and all those things. When they go out anywhere, if they find a Palestinian from far away, they have the right to shoot under the statement that they felt threatened, and that's why they have shot it. No one is there to ask, no one is there to question them. So this is what exactly is happening. So the life of a Palestinian there is under extreme difficulty in West Bank, Particularly, they are trying to steal the land more and more. Particularly, this government, which is led by you have seen that what the minister of an Israeli minister has stated that let us we will not
Dropping of a
hesitate. Yeah,
nuclear
dropping of
bomb.
nuclear bomb.
Hmm.
You can imagine, and he's a cabinet minister.
Hmm.
What an irresponsible statement, and the word is keeping quiet. Nobody is talking. You're going and destroying the uh, hospitals and
So,
bombing dead bodies. I mean, it is the extreme. The dead bodies are being taken and you are bombing the dead bodies. I mean, what more? You can see the atrocity or
mhm,
the wild action. It's just like
right.
that.
Sir, and also it's been about a month, more than a month that the war has started. We've seen already the catastrophe. Civilians about around 10,000 have been killed. There could be more. The number is rising every day. Uh, how do you see the role that India should be playing now? And you talked about what India did. India sent at least one shipment of humanitarian aid. But when I spoke with the Palestinian ambassador, he told me that we want India to mediate because India is close to both. India has historical ties. India is close to Israel. India has, close to Palestine also. Do you think India really needs to now step in and mediate? Will anybody be willing to listen? And within this 1 month, there has been deep polarization on this issue, right? Finally, where do you see this ending? Also, the fact that there is another war going on, the Russia Ukraine war. So, in your scheme of things, how do you see, sir?
I don't think Israel or the Western countries would ever allow India to play a role. I remember when we had decided to establish diplomatic relations with Israel, uh, PV Narasimha Rao was our prime minister. President Yasser Arafat, when he came here, and he was conveyed the decision of the government of India, his words were, "It is your sovereign decision. We have nothing to say. India is a country. You have a name. You have your own weight. It is your sovereign decision. We welcome it because," he said, "because it may help us also. Your relations with them may help us also in achieving our aspirations and in achieving our stated aim of a two-state
Solution.
solution on our
Hmm.
own state."
Hmm.
That is what he had said. But nobody listened us. So we don't have any role. Neither Americans would ever allow us, nor any Western country would allow us, nor Israel will allow us to play a role. As I said, that when we were thinking that there should be quartet plus one, they just kept India on one side. They did not listen. So ambassador will say, everyone will say in the Arab world, everyone will say in other countries also that yes, India has that kind of a role player, you
As
know,
an influence.
as an influence also that can play a role. But who will allow? Israel would never allow. There could be very strong relationship of India with Israel. Interest of the two countries have to be taken care of also. And Israel, I don't think will ever, accept that. Uh, you know, when they do not sometime listen to some European countries also, they are not going to listen. They all want, Arab countries want, Israel, Palestinians want. Palestinians have repeatedly said that India should play a role. They said that India has an influence. India has got good relations. This is in the larger interest of the region also. That is what they have said. But I don't think that Israel would agree to that. That
Hmm.
is what is my assessment. And where is it leading? I think what I view. I'm not a. I cannot tell you that where it is going. But what I think is that they stated aim is like that, and which in my view is that they want to eliminate completely, root out the Hamas or Hamas cadre or Hamas organization, and afterwards they will ask the Palestine National Authority, which is a moderate, which has been negotiating with the Israelis, that now you go and you take over the administration of Gaza also. And now the extremists have gone, and they will continue dealing with Abu Mazen and PNA in the same way as they have been dealing with him in West Bank, disrespecting him, dishonoring him, you know, not listening to him at all, just to see that they continue achieving their aim of strengthening their grip on the occupied land. But I think they have learned their lessons, PLO and Fatah and other organizations. I don't think that they will agree to go there unless the international guarantees are given that a two-state solution should be found. You see, Mr. Blinken is going, has gone, to the region. This is the third time he was there, and his sudden visit to Ramallah to meet President Abbas is an indication that they are trying to convince him that once Hamas, is rooted out from there, then he should be ready. But I don't think he will be ready like that. So there will be a consensus. And that's why you see he met the Egyptian, UAE, Jordan, and all other foreign ministers also. So perhaps with some, some kind of a thinking which he brought from Israel, that how they want to deal, with the future of Gaza. But it is not that very easy, because rooting out Hamas is not that easy. Number one. Number two is that if Mr. Abu Mazen or Fatah or other organizations which are moderate and which are part of the Oslo Accord, or which are the part of Madrid and other negotiations, if they continue failing, flopping, not giving any hope to the masses of Palestinian people, I think another organization with another name will come up, and they will continue this struggle until they achieve their goal. Now, how it comes out, I mean, it is just to be seen.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, sir. That was Ambassador Zikrur Rahman telling us what is the road ahead that is there for the Israel Hamas war, what he calls as the Israel Palestine war. Well, this has been over a month that the war is going on. We will now need to wait and watch whether there is a solution that can be achieved. With Salman on camera, this is Nayanima Basu for ABP Live.